The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Paul Dubov. The war changed many things, the face of the earth and the people on it. Before the war, Frank Race worked as an attorney, but he traded his law books for the cloak and dagger of the OSS. And when it was over, his former life was over, too. Adventure had become his business. The Adventures of Frank Race. Now we join Frank Race for the adventure of the Sobbing Bodyguard.
It wasn't what you might call a respectable hour, and I had nothing left but a grunt of relief as I doused the light and burrowed into the bedding. There'd been a meeting with two former combat companions, a pair of lusty travelers intent upon my liquid downfall. I'd outlasted them, but now, with morning threatening to crack at any minute, I needed no crystal ball to forecast what it held for me, a fat hangover. But before I could concentrate on oblivion, there came a sound from the living room. I heard the switch click, and then... That you, Mark?
Yeah. Be in a second.
What goes on?
Where are you? In bed?
Finally. What have you been doing? Packing someone on your back?
Look, whether you know it or not, you ain't kidding.
Well, I hope you're kidding. I'm in no condition to nursemaid a drunk.
Look, you bottle?
Oh, I'm sober enough. You actually have someone in there?
Race, remember when you were in Italy last summer by yourself?
Yes.
Well, I took a fare up to Saratoga for the races, see. While I was up there, I get into a beef with Eddie Harrington.
I'm a little muddy. The name rings no bell.
Look, get with it, will you? Nightclub owner, hard guy. We get into an argument at the track, and I bust him in his snoot, and he has his boys work me over.
And this is the first time you tell me about it.
Well, I guess I was kind of ashamed of being mauled. Of course, it took four of them to do it, you understand?
I understand. And does all this have something to do with the fare you just unloaded in the living room?
It does indeed, brother. That lump in there happens to be Harrington.
Come again, will you? If he's drunk, why bring him here? Or are we conducting a haven for lushers?
Race, listen to me. The guy in there ain't drunk. He's dead.
That brought me out of bed and sent me into the living room with a lunge. Mark's passenger lay spilled over the end of the divan, a big fella, the athletic type gone to seed. His features, even in death, held to a sadistic leer.
That's quite a deal, huh?
What's the story? And it better be good.
There ain't nothing good about it. Look, I am in Follies having me a cup of coffee. When I come out, here is this lad planted in the cab. A guy I had a rhubarb with, the guy that had me beat up. And he's dead in my hack of a bullet through the sconce. So right there I say to myself, Donovan, you are behind the well-known double four-ball.
Bullet through the ear. Could have been suicide.
Are you kid with no gun around? No, Race, no. The brains of homicide would just snort at that one. I gotta plant this boy in somebody else's doorstep, that's all. I gotta think about it with great care.
Mark, the smart thing to do would be to call the police.
Oh, no. I don't want to do that, Race. The first place I tabbed the thing for a frame. Not against me in particular, you understand? It's just that somebody perforated this guy and wants a patsy to pin it on. I happen to fit. Motive and everything.
All right, if you want to play it that way. But if the police do move in, it'll be that much tougher. Why don't you just dump him out in the street somewhere right away?
Because I picked up a tail the moment I pull away from Follies. A prowl car, no less. Latched on, wouldn't let go. Followed me right here to the door. I had to make like this boy was a drunk I was delivering home.
It's all too pat. Are they still outside?
Nah, I think they left. I'll have a look, though. Hey.
Still there?
Yeah, with another one pulling up behind him. Well, if this thing is getting tight in the French bathing suit, I'm going to get out of here.
Wait, what for?
Them cops.
If they take you, I'll have you out in a matter of hours.
Look, nothing doing. I never liked the clink. But if you really want to help me, here's something you should know. Harrington and I got into that fracas because of a dame he was shoving around, see? A dish by the name of Coral Kennedy. Last I heard, she was singing somewhere in Jersey City. I'll see you later.
He got clear of the room by a scant couple of minutes. The visiting group included a patrolman and a couple of plainclothes officers. One of the detectives I knew, a Lieutenant Kessel. This was a complication, because we'd never liked each other.
This layout belong to you, Race?
I've been under that impression. What's the picture? Am I being evicted?
I'll laugh at that one after breakfast, but I'm not so liable to gag on it. How'd he explain the lad on the dive van?
Looks a little inebriated.
He's dead and you know it. How'd he get in here?
All you had to do was push the door open. He might have done the same thing.
With a bullet hole in his head? Why don't you stop? Where's the other guy that lives in the apartment? He was spotted packing this cargo in here.
What's the pitch, Kessel? It's all so pat. You're knowing just when to arrive and tabbing Donovan so neatly. He felt he was being framed by someone. Looks as though he's right.
You helped him get away, didn't you?
You can put that one back in your hat, Lieutenant. I know nothing about this business. Anything I do for Donovan from now on will be done in my capacity as a licensed investigator.
Yeah? Well, first you're going to stand a little investigating yourself. Starting as of now.
What with the medical examiner and pictures and questions, it was 8 o'clock before I was able to detach myself long enough to grab a shower. After this, Kessel finally and grudgingly indicated that I wasn't to be taken in. So I went out for a breakfast of dry toast and black coffee. While I ordered, another customer slid onto the stool beside me. Plump, sleek, well-manicured, he eyed the counterman with the quiet gaze of a snake digesting a rabbit.
Let me have some coffee, too. Make sure it's hot or I'll push your face in it. Hey, Race. Remember me?
I remember you. Flip Clemson.
Yeah. I come in here so I could talk to you.
I'm gratified.
I hear you got Addie Harrington's body over to your place.
You're full of news.
I hear things. But this is hard to believe. You see, Race, I've been working as Harrington's bodyguard, and I couldn't help feeling real hurt if that was really Addie's body.
Sorry, Flip, you'll have to read about it in the papers.
You keep stalling, I ain't gonna like it.
Look, Flip, I've had a tough night. I've got a headache. Start nagging me, and your face will go into the coffee.
Don't ever try nothing like that with me, Race. You'd only get your fingers down your throat. A long way down.
All right. Now that we've both made faces at each other, why don't we just say so long?
Race,
Yes?
that ain't really Harrington's body, is it?
Buy a paper, Flip. Read all about it. A nightclub at noon. It's like looking at an unmade bed. And the yellow slipper in Jersey City was no exception. But there was nothing dowdy about the girl I found there practicing new vocal numbers.
No. I don't mind taking time out. But if you're an agent, I already have one.
Do I look like an agent?
They come in all shapes and sizes. And I don't know anything about your mentality.
I'm not an agent.
Wouldn't be a better job, would it? No deal if strings dangle from it.
Put away the truculence, will you? I came over here simply to ask an impersonal question.
Go ahead.
Can you think of any reason why Addie Harrington would want to commit suicide?
Can I...
She took time out for a few seconds, and the wariness tightened across her features. She turned to the man at the piano, a swarthy personality who looked more like a croupier than an accompanist.
Hear that, Rocco?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear it.
What would you say?
I would say Addie wouldn't commit suicide for nothing or nobody.
Well, Race, there you are.
I asked you the question. No offense, Rocco, but would you mind getting lost?
Me? I'm a stay. Unless Coral tell me to go.
Take 5, Rocco. Go get yourself a beer.
For some reason, Rocco didn't like it, but he left. And then I told the girl about Mark Donovan.
Oh, yes, the cab driver. Well, I certainly do remember him. You see, Harrington got pretty mean that day. I think your friend saved me a mauling. Harrington was like that. Always wanted to wrestle.
And you had enough of that type.
I've had a hatful.
How about helping Donovan?
What can I do? I didn't even know Harrington was dead until you broke the news.
Who else could I talk to about Harrington?
Rocco Mentora. Rocco knew him pretty well, but Rocco never liked him. And Rocco doesn't like questions.
Who else?
Well, you could talk to Jean Harrington, Addie's wife.
Where would I find her? At his club?
Jean? She never went near the place. You wouldn't be caught dead in it.
Don't sound so bitter. Doesn't go with those freckles on your nose.
Afraid I can't help it. Singing in a $1.95 layout like this when I could be in New York. And if it weren't for Harrington, I would be.
New York isn't very far from here. When do you have a night off?
Tomorrow? But if you...
Dinner with me? I'm the mental type. I don't start wrestling until very late in the evening.
All right, Race. Might be fun.
This thing was beginning to worry me. If they brought Mark Donovan to trial, he might not fare so well. They'd bring out his liking for brawls. They'd dwell on a revenge motive. I had a friend with the district attorney's office, so I called him, only to find he'd gone on a vacation. But the call brought results. The office sent a visitor that evening, a deputy DA by the name of Manning.
You stirred up quite a fuss at the office this afternoon, Race. What's the gripe against the police department?
I thought I was talking to Carlson when I got on the phone. That's why it seemed as though I was popping off.
Oh, they said you seemed to think the Homicide Bureau is pulling a fast one. Oh, that's the nuts. There's nothing wrong with the department.
Nothing vicious, but a thickhead by the name of Kessel happens to be handling the Harrington case. Someone gave him a tip on Mark Donovan. He can't think of anything else.
Oh, yeah. I know Kessel. One-track mind. But what do you want us to do?
I called Carlson because I thought he might give me a break on information. I got nothing from Kessel but abuse.
Well, I'll do what I can to help. Right now, we don't know any more than was in the papers. But I'll keep in touch with you.
It was about an hour after he left that I got a call from Mark Donovan.
Right. I think I'm in trouble.
Where are you?
At Michael's drugstore. You know, the one right around the corner?
What's the problem?
Oh, a couple of Joes at the fountain look like dicks. They've been giving me the double O. Now, if I had you here to sort of create one of them diversions...
I'll be right there, right away. Stay put.
You ain't going nowhere, Race. You're going to stay right here.
It was Rocco, the Jersey City piano player, standing just inside the doorway. There was fever in his eyes, in the way he drew on the cigarette plastered to his lower lip, in the way he gripped the automatic in his hand. He was feeling big and tough and in command of things. My guess would have been the stuff that dreams are made of. Bad dreams. Some drug that made him about the deadliest item in the city at the moment. I spoke soothingly to him. Sit down, Rocco. We'll have something to drink.
Won't do you no good to try not to Race. Because I'm pulling a stopper. Right now.
We'll return to the adventures of Frank Race in just about 1 minute. And now back to the adventures of Frank Race.
I was on the floor, with the room full of gun smoke, with Rocco still at the door, looking as though he'd just been elevated to a priesthood. But his bullets hadn't spilled me. I dropped the split second before he fired, and now I feigned limpness, reasoning he'd come over for a closer look. He did. And when he got near enough, I grabbed! And now Rocco was down and out. It was probably going to be several minutes before he'd be capable of answering questions, and unfortunately I couldn't hang around, not with Mark waiting for me. But at the drugstore, there was no sign of Mark. I slammed back to the apartment and found Rocco gone, too, which left me floundering. So I called headquarters, and I learned that Mark Donovan had just been brought in and was being booked on suspicion of murder. Now I had two things to do. One was to see about freeing Mark. The other was to pay a visit to a woman I'd never met. Cool and sparkling, she reminded me of fine glass. It was hard to picture her as being married to a man like Addie Harrington. Then it occurred to me that I hadn't seen Addie Harrington at his best.
You're not a policeman, Mr. Race.
How do you know?
You're too intelligent looking.
I can see I'm going to have to tread carefully with you.
Not unless you want to. I have a taste for big men who also happen to be good looking.
And you, a brand new widow.
Addie and I were divorced 6 months ago. It was a parting without tears.
And you don't know a thing about what just happened to him?
Not a thing, Race.
Yet right away you go into an act for me. A man you've never seen before. Why?
I don't know what you mean.
Look, Duchess, you're much too smooth to start gushing within the first 15 minutes. Unless you have a motive.
Oh, come now, Race. You underestimate yourself.
You wouldn't want to tell me if Harrington carried heavy insurance, would you?
I would if I could, mister. But Addie Harrington always kept his affairs very much to himself, which was one of the reasons we were never compatible.
Do you happen to know anything about his death?
Only what I read in the newspapers. I've been out of town, Race. I got back only a few hours ago.
Uh-huh. Well, is there anything you can tell me about a lad called Rocco Mentora?
I don't believe I've ever heard of him.
With a slight touch of hesitation, indicating that your answer would hardly stand up against the lie machine.
Race, for a man who isn't with the police, you're boringly inquisitive.
I'm sorry, Duchess, I have to be. In this case, it'll keep a friend of mine from being convicted of murder.
Race, come on over.
Hello, Clemson.
Race, this is Johnny Ortega. Climb in, we'll give you a lift.
No, thanks. I need the exercise.
What'd I tell you, Johnny? Cagey guy. Never wants to say nothing. Yeah, Race, go on, look at me. So I've been balling. Guy's got a right to ball when a pal gets knocked off, ain't he? Well, ain't he?
I guess he has, Flip.
Eddie Harrington was a good guy. An unhappy guy, too. The club going broke on him. There was no reason for to knock Addie off. Besides, it ain't good for a bodyguard's career to lose an employee. Who's this pal of yours that gunned him down, Race?
Hang up, Flip. You've got the wrong number.
You heard me. Who was he?
Sorry, Flip.
All right, you asked for it. Take him, Johnny.
Yeah.
Ortega had been standing alongside the car, and suddenly I found myself in the iron clutch of a hammer.
Now, maybe he'll talk before Ortega breaks your arm. Put a little pressure on him, Johnny. Yeah. Oh, okay, give. You talker, Johnny. You'll twist that arm clear over your head. Give him another boost, Johnny.
Yeah.
When you're standing erect, there's an antidote for a hammerlock. But you have to get your feet clear of your man. Ortega, busy with his sadism, finally left himself open, so against his shin, I jammed a heavy heel. He let go of the hammerlock and sat down on the sidewalk to rock back and forth in agony. Flip Clemson stared in disbelief for a second, then stabbed at the car's glove compartment. But he dropped the gun, getting it out, and as he bent over, I jammed his head against the floorboard and got it myself. You just relax, Flip. Then we'll all be happier. Personally, I have no hard feelings at all, because you've just given me the probable reason for Addie Harrington's death. I got Mark out on a writ of habeas corpus, but with an inquest coming up, we were in need of information. So I called Detective Lieutenant Kessel. When I told him what I'd like to know about Jean Harrington, whether she had a boyfriend or not, his reply mirrored his feeling for private investigators.
Look, you're a shamus. Find out for yourself.
And that was that. I felt fortunate I could go to Manning in the DA's office.
I guess we can find that out for you, Race. Anything else?
I'd like to know if Harrington carried a big insurance policy, but I'll check on that myself. On the anxious seat now, I phoned Manning the next afternoon.
No dice, Race. At least no boyfriend we can turn up.
Thanks anyway.
What'd you learn about the insurance?
That part gels, Manning. One of the terms of their divorce settlement stipulated that Harrington keep up a $100,000 policy with Jean Harrington as beneficiary.
Yeah? What do you make out of it?
Nothing I can prove yet, but I'm going to keep trying. It was the next night at dinner that Coral Kennedy told me she'd given up her Jersey City job and come to New York for good.
You see, with Harrington dead, I'm finally free.
Free?
Well, Addie had me under contract. When I walked out on him, he wouldn't release me. That's why I was working under the phony name.
All of which might be an excellent motive for your having murdered Harrington.
Gosh, it could seem that way, couldn't it?
Except that he wasn't murdered.
What?
Well, at least that's my belief. I just wish I could prove it. There was plenty of reason for his suicide. Harrington was broke, been drinking heavily, and his club was deep in the red.
When did you find out all this?
Today, I've been in half the bars and nightclubs in town.
Who'd want to make it look like murder when it's a suicide?
Mrs. Harrington, they were divorced, and one of the terms of the settlement was that Harrington maintain a $100,000 insurance with her as beneficiary.
Oh.
But suicide on the part of the insured always voids a policy.
Well, I've got some news, too, Race. I went by Harrington's nightclub today. It was closed, but I ran into Addie's man there, his Filipino houseboy. He told me that Addie'd been feeling morbid and depressed. He said Addie took an overdose of sleeping pills just a week ago, but got sick and snapped out of it.
My angel, where can I find that boy?
I've got his address right here. Oh, gosh, Race, I left it in my other purse. It's at the apartment.
I know of no better reason for you to take me home with you. Come on, baby.
You'd better wait in the hall, Race.
Nothing doing. I'll help you look.
Oh? And then?
And then I'll go and get some ice cream, and we'll have a real homey evening together.
Oh, you fool, you.
You ain't going nowhere. Neither one of you.
Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco. You've been talking too much, chicken. You've been talking too much to the wrong people.
Seems as though you and I went through this sort of thing once before, Rocco.
Yeah. But this
Get
time
going, Coral.
I ain't missing.
I came out of it looking up at a clinically white ceiling. That and my sense of smell told me I was hospitalized. Swiveling the neck a little, I gazed into the opaque countenance of Detective Lieutenant Kessel.
Well, Race, how do you feel?
Like a ham on a hook. What goes with the arm?
It's strung up like that because you took a slug through the shoulder. Nothing serious. You'll be out in a couple of days.
How'd they do all of this to me so quickly?
Get wise, Race. You've been here some time. This is now tomorrow afternoon.
Well, it's nothing like a good sleep. How about the girl?
You're, speaking of this one, I suppose?
He pushed a newspaper at me with a photograph on the front page, Coral Kennedy's photograph. But beyond recognizing that, my eyes wouldn't function, so I asked Kessel to read the account.
I don't have to read it. I know it by heart. She was found this morning by some guys going to work in a galvanizing plant. What was left of her was found in a vat of molten zinc.
Kessel had said I'd be out of the hospital in a couple of days. He turned out to be wrong. I made it the next morning. But I left the place with about as much enthusiasm as a used car appraiser inspecting a Model T. At the curb, I found Mark Donovan waiting in his cab.
Climb in, Race. We got things to do.
What are you so brisk about? This is the day of the Harrington inquest.
Yeah. I know. And the way things look, I will most likely be indicted. But I just turned up a little nugget of info that might change the whole picture. I have learned where that lad Rocco is holding up, and it happens to be at none other than the apartment of the late Mr. Harrington's former wife, Jean.
You're sure?
I am in dead earnest. What do you say we go get him?
All right, but not by ourselves. One, it wouldn't be good for you to become involved in a fight right now. Two, I personally haven't the strength to wiggle a mound of tripe, so we'll get Kessel. And to make sure he stays in line, we'll also take along Manning of the district attorney's office.
I hope this doesn't turn out to be a false alarm. I've got other things to do.
Don't worry, it ain't no false alarm.
We take your car, Manning. It's a sedan.
Sure, it's right here.
And what am I going to do with this Rocco? Even if I take him in, Race, it's only your word against his that he shot you. Hey, what's the matter, Manning? Can't you get your own car door open?
Oh, there it is. Okay, get in. We can at least go out and talk to this fellow.
Well, what a deputation.
I'm sure you don't mind if we come in.
Why,
I'll check right through the whole place right now, Race, huh?
Look, what goes on?
Do you happen to know a man called Rocco Mentora, Mrs. Harrington?
Rocco? Well, of course, he's my former...
Yeah, he's here all right, Race. Out cold. Whether from sleep or reefers, I wouldn't be prepared to say.
Mr. Mentora hasn't been feeling well. He came over here for a few hours to rest. It's all perfectly proper. I keep a housekeeper here and a maid,
You told me a few days ago you'd never heard of Mentora.
Just what are you trying to prove?
Yeah, that's a good point, Race. What are we trying to prove?
Well, first, that Addie Harrington wasn't murdered, but he committed suicide. But it was important to Mrs. Harrington that it looked like murder, so she could collect her husband's fat insurance. That's why her boyfriend murdered Coral Kennedy, because Coral knew too much.
Boyfriend? You mean this Mentora guy?
No. I mean you, Manning.
Manning? You're kidding, Race.
I'm not kidding. I didn't bring Manny into the case. He came in himself when he heard of my calling Carlson. It gave him a chance to be on top of everything all the way. And it was Manning who pushed Coral Kennedy into that vat of zinc.
He's gone off his rocker, Kessel. They let him out of the hospital too soon.
Oh, wait. How do you know, Race? How do you know? How do you know Manning pushed her into the vat?
He couldn't get his car open because of the condition of his keys. His keychain must have been dangling when he handled Coral Kennedy's body, so that the keys went into the galvanizing solution. That's why he had trouble opening his car. Take a look at the keys, Kessel. The evidence is all over them.
Don't go for that gun, Manning. Ain't smart.
I figured you'd be handy when I asked you to come along, Kessel. You're always so doggone truculent.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Paul Dubov with Tony Barrett as Mark Donovan, comes to you from Hollywood. Others heard in tonight's cast were Lillian Pyatt, Jack Crucian, Tom Holland, Michael Ann Barrett, and Gerald Moore. This series is written and directed by Buckley Angel and Joel Murcott. The music is composed and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure to be with us again this time next week for another dramatic chapter in The Adventures of Frank Race. Art Gilmore speaking. This is a Bruce Ells production. The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Paul Dubov. The war changed many things, the face of the earth and the people on it. Before the war, Frank Race worked as an attorney, but he traded his law books for the cloak and dagger of the OSS. And when it was over, his former life was over too. Adventure had become his business. The Adventures of Frank Race. And now we join Frank Race for the adventure of the diver's loot.
London, under a heavy rush of cumulonimbus clouds, scudding thunderheads that looked as though they might knock off your head at any moment. I just left the embankment and was hurrying across Westminster Bridge when...
Hey, Race! Race, wait a second!
It was Mark Donovan running to catch me, and for some reason the sight of a New York taxi driver afoot in London seemed incongruous enough to rate a grin.
All right. I give up. What's so funny? Just because a guy has to lope like a highboat bank tail to come up with you.
Sorry, Mark. I was just thinking how different this is compared to ramming a cab along 42nd Street.
It ain't so different. Just had to hack my way through a jam. It was worse than going for the X's on fight night back there in Trafalgar Square.
Slow down. You're wheezing like a sump pump.
They ought to be. Hey, I almost forgot. I've been pulling this marathon because a guy wants to see us. Personality named Rhodes.
Lawrence Rhodes?
Yeah. Very pip and cheerio. Wants to see you pronto. Offices in Eaton Square, you know.
I can't take on another assignment. We should be getting back to New York. But I'll see Rhodes anyway. Everything about Lawrence Rhodes was thin. His weight, his hair, the wispy line of his very blonde mustache. He looked as though he might be the operator of an exclusive ladies' shop. Actually, he served as British representative for Acme Indemnity, and during the war had cracked a Normandy beachhead as leader of a tough commando unit.
Decent of you to come, Race. We feel it's imperative that we have an American in on this, since it's an American venture to begin with.
Well,
and when it's a case of children losing their lives... Oh, forgive me. What were you saying?
I was going to say that... What's this about kids losing their lives?
A little French lad, killed aboard the salvage vessel.
Rhodes, I'm afraid you're going to have to start this from the beginning.
Of course. Old habit of mine, assuming people have previous knowledge of what I'm talking about. Forgive me. All this stems from a salvage operation just across the channel. But before we discuss it further, I want you to meet someone.
He left me for a few minutes and came back with a husky-looking man of about 50. A man he introduced as Charles Menifee.
Mr. Menifee can tell you much more about this matter than I can, Race. He's in charge of the operation.
It's a cleanup job. My company secured the contract for dragging the harbor off Cherbourg. We've been picking up the residue of stuff that was sunk there during the war, particularly after D-Day. I happened to be on the vessel in question when this affair took place. Besides the mishap to the boy, we lost a diver by the name of Joe Donner. Just disappeared, leaving nothing but broken signal and airlines.
How old was the boy, and how did he happen to be aboard?
He was 12, a waterfront kid that had been made a sort of a mascot by the men. Apparently, they smuggled him on the vessel for this voyage. It was all pretty much of a mix-up, and no one seemed to know anything about it.
That brings up an important point, Race. Acme is indemnifying Menifee's company against all liability, and if this youngster died on that vessel, then we'll assume our full obligation. But we should know if he really did die on the boat. Your opinion on the report will decide that for us.
What sort of accident was it?
That's the peculiar part of it. The thing probably can't be called an accident at all. You see, the boy was shot to death.
Menifee and I left Rhodes' office together and stood talking on the street while waiting for cabs. I was to fly across the channel that evening. He would meet me in Cherbourg on the following day. And as we planned this, a car sidled up to the curb. A gleaming new sedan with the rakishness of a destroyer stopped directly alongside us, and a quiet voice spoke from the rear seat.
Don't you guys try rushing off anywhere. You'll develop more holes in a bum alibi.
From the look of him, he might have been an usher at your sister's wedding. He even had the carnation on his lapel. With the manner of a maestro handling a rare fiddle, he lifted the submachine gun he'd been holding in his lap.
Get your hooks behind your heads and get in here with me.
Should be an enjoyable ride. It's a beautiful car.
A most beautiful car.
Ain't bad for a foreign job. Okay, Connie, but take it easy. We don't want to have to brush off any nosy cops.
Now you're being discreet. In this country, they object to people who carry artillery.
We carry what we like anywhere we go.
Nothing like self-confidence. We haven't met before, have we?
I never forget a face. We ain't met.
I'm Frank Race. My friend's name is...
I know your friend's name. It's Menifee.
Hadn't realized I was so renowned.
How about your identity?
Me? I'm Freddie Troy, an independent voter. I run a little business of my own.
How is business?
Don't pay like it used to, especially over here. Guy's got to take what he can get.
Well, from the looks of this car...
Menifee, I'll give fat odds that the owner of this car hasn't the slightest idea as to who's driving it at this moment.
You're a real hep personality, Race.
Do you mind telling us what this is all about?
No, I don't mind. I'm taking you out to the country for a ride. A real old-fashioned ride.
But what for?
Some people in Cherbourg, they think you're in the way. So I'm taking care of you. And when I take care of somebody, I do it right.
He let his own words send him a little, just enough to relax the vigilance that had been in his attitude. For an instant, the nose of the submachine gun wandered upward away from Menifee and myself, so I lunged! I didn't have to yell at Menifee. He was already on top of the driver as the four of us strained.
Now look what you've done. I'll murder you.
All right, Troy. Now here's a little payment in kind.
Race! The machine gun! I'll get him!
Knocked him cold. Are you all right, Race?
I think so.
You deflected that gun upward just in time. He'd have killed a dozen people.
Where's Troy?
Troy? He must have got lost in the crowd.
Well, conditions are getting better in London. Last time I was here, I had to dodge bombs. This time, it was just machine gun bullets. Cherbourg is still a disabled war veteran, showing gaunt open spaces and bombed-out buildings as mute testimony of the travail she endured. I met Menifee again at the Creole, one of the larger hotels. With him was a man and woman he introduced as Jim and Sandra Whalen. Jim Whalen worked as Menifee's head driver. He must have seen too many George Raft pictures, judging from the way he persisted in twirling a keychain all the time we talked. The woman, slim, young, red-headed, rated seconds on any man's glance.
Turned up anything yet, Race?
Nothing, but I have Mark Donovan out looking for leads. You haven't met him. He's tops when it comes to prying out clues.
I want you to know I'm suspending all operations for the time being. The local police seem pretty well stopped by it.
The four of us sat in the lobby and watched it begin to rain outside, a condition that turned the city gray and dismal-looking. Succumbing to the effect of the weather, Menifee and Jim Whalen presently left to take on a few drinks. Sandra Whalen immediately crinkled her nose at me.
It's about time we had a chance to talk to each other. I get pretty tired of hearing nothing but diving and salvage.
Oh? What would you prefer to discuss?
You and me.
Somehow I get the feeling that could become rather complicated.
Oh, I'm counting on it. Do you mind?
What's the matter, bored?
I was, until you came along. But I'm not bored now. I'm not bored at all.
Sorry, Ducky. There are certain conditions under which I never move in, and this seems to involve all of them.
Oh? Well, you better tell me about it. You see, I've always been led to believe I was rather attractive.
You're most attractive. But there happens to be a guy in the background. A guy by the name of Jim Whalen.
Who also happens to be my brother.
Your brother?
If you doubt it, go and ask him.
I'd look pretty silly doing that. No, I'm more than willing to take your word for it. And now, would you begin all over again?
Begin what?
Those ideas you were advancing. Those very provocative ideas concerning us.
I've given you too much of a lead as it is.
Let's not waste time with regrets. Isn't there another spot, perhaps a little music?
I know just the spot. Come on, we can slip away before they get back.
Cherbourg no longer seemed gray and dreary. For me, it had suddenly assumed the atmosphere of a Mardi Gras, a mummers parade. But at the door to the hotel, there came an interruption.
Going somewhere, Race?
That's rather obvious, isn't it? Sandra, this is Mark Donovan.
Hello, Mark.
I don't blame you for going somewhere, but I'm afraid I gotta part, you two nice people.
Get lost, Mark. I'm sure that whatever you have in mind can wait.
Look, Race, you will probably want to flog me from here to Paris, but it won't wait. It's a red-hot break. It's got to be handled now.
Go with him, Race. We can make it later. Shall we say tomorrow evening?
You're a very understanding person.
I'm a very persistent person. See you later, Race.
Marcus, this lead of yours had better be good.
It's good, chum. Let's go.
Where?
Spot called the Bar de Bouc. It ain't the Crillon, of course.
Crillon.
Yeah, like I said, it ain't the Crillon, but it has its points. It definitely has its points. Now, ain't this something, Race? Makes you forget all about the rain outside, huh?
Who are we going to talk to?
And a table in the corner. Guy and a dame. He's the American I was telling you about. The one that gave me the knockdown to her. Look, I know you just left the pip, but, ain't this girl something?
She was wearing a black suit and a beret. She had dark eyes and honey-colored hair. She was smoking a cigarette in a long holder, and she looked like something Renoir would have put on canvas. We went over, and Mark made us known to one another, identifying the girl as Annette, the man as Phil Benson. We had drinks and began a casual conversation. Benson turned out to be a paving contractor, dickering with the city of Cherbourg for some of its road rebuilding work.
But it's kind of tough. They don't want to give it to anyone but a Frenchman. I don't blame them in a way, but I could certainly save them a lot of money on know-how.
Annette, Mark Donovan tells me you know something about what occurred on that salvage boat last week.
Yes, Race. I know something.
Wouldn't want to tell me about it, would you?
No, Race. I will only speak of what I know to the man who's in charge of the boat.
Is it a question of money?
Frankly, yes.
I could get it for you.
No. No, I will only speak to that man himself. The man called Menifee.
All right. We'll make it tonight. Sweet J at the Creole at 8 o'clock. Is that all right?
Yes, Race. That is all right.
Sweet J at the Creole happened to be the apartment Mark and I were occupying. And I had Menifee there at 7:30. He came in with a serious face and a morose attitude. Took a couple of drinks to bring him to the point of unburdening his mind.
It's Sandra, Race. I don't suppose you have any idea that she and I are engaged.
Engaged?
Yeah.
No, I didn't have any such idea. Sandra didn't say anything about it this afternoon.
Yeah, Sandra's like that. Restless and always on the lookout for excitement, but I have hopes that she'll settle down.
Of course, I'm sure she will. That must be our caller.
Hello, Race.
Come in, Annette. This is Mr. Menifee.
Hello, Annette. Ray says you've some information for me.
Yes, Monsieur Menifee. I have 3 things to tell you. First, that I consider you a murderer. Second, that I am the mother of the dead child. And third, that I now intend to kill you with this pistol.
Annette!
We'll return to the adventures of Frank Race in just about 1 minute. And now, back to the adventures of Frank Race.
Menifee was down, but I couldn't tell how badly he'd been hurt. I was too involved with a twisting, writhing woman whose intent was to send more bullets into his body.
Let me go! Let me go!
You little idiot. You're not solving anything by making a play like this. Give me that gun. Give me that gun. I'm sorry. You left me no alternative. Now, if you're smart, you'll get out of here. Your police don't like people who use guns.
You're not going to hold me?
No, get going.
Very well, Race. Merci.
Race,
Better stay put, Menifee, till I get some help here.
doesn't seem too bad. You saved my life by grabbing her the way you did.
She had me fooled right down to the ground. Where were you hit?
It seems to be near the shoulder.
Here. I'll pack it, then I'll get you a doctor.
No, doctor. I'll take care of this myself.
You've got to have a doctor, Menifee. It would be terrible.
No, I'll take care of it myself. Bring in a doctor and you bring in the police. I've had enough publicity on this thing.
We're likely to need the police. That girl might try this again.
You can take care of that for me. Now, find her, persuade her that I'm not at fault. I'm doing all I can to clean up the situation. But no doctors, and no police.
There was no doubt but that Annette would be in hiding. So next morning, Mark and I looked up Phil Benson, the roving paving contractor.
Yeah, I know where she is. But why should I tell you guys? So you can make trouble for her?
Look, don't be a dub, will you? We ain't gonna give her no grief. Race wants a helper.
That's right, Benson. I give you my word.
All right. But I wouldn't want to give her a bum steer. She's a widow, going through a bad time. And I'm nuts about it.
He took us to a small flat over a wine shop on a back street. Here, Annette received us casually, as though nothing unusual had happened. But the moment I mentioned Menifee, her eyes filled with storm.
You may as well know. If I get another chance at him, I shall try the same thing again.
But why? You're not sure that he caused the death of your son?
My son died on that man's boat. For me, that is enough.
Take it easy, will you, baby? Race is only trying to find out what really happened. He's only trying to help you.
I can promise that Menifee won't go to the police if you'll agree to let him alone.
Hear that, baby? Why don't you relax and learn to live again? Give a guy like me a chance to make things different for you.
Let me alone. I don't want to talk about it.
You've got to talk about it, baby, for my sake. You know how I feel about you. Just give me time to make one of these paving deals and, well, things will be different, that's all.
Oh, please let me alone.
She stalked out of the room, and I realized the futility of trying to deal with a woman stricken as she had been. Benson looked stopped.
If I could only get a break so I could take her away from here.
Are you having any luck?
Not with the city of Cherbourg. They just don't listen to me. And I could do their cement paving cheaper than anyone on the continent. But it looks as though I've got about as much chance as a plugged bullseye.
Stick with it, chum. Things will work out.
They have a way of doing that. We'll see you later, Benson.
Hi, Race. Remember me?
Hello, Sandra.
Well, aren't you going to invite me in?
Of course.
Or are you reluctant to receive a lady at this late an hour?
Can I fix you a drink?
I've already had a drink. I've already had several drinks.
Well, you're a big girl now. They shouldn't hurt you.
I thought we had a date tonight.
Date?
You know we did.
Well, something came up, something I couldn't avoid.
Menifee talked to you, didn't he? Told you I was engaged to him.
Well, aren't you?
He told me he talked to you. You know, you had me fooled. I didn't think you'd let a thing like that slow you down.
A lot of things slow me down. That's just one of them.
Big, virtuous man, aren't you? Well, I hate virtuous men.
That should simplify everything, then.
It should, but it doesn't. Because after I decided I hated you, I couldn't stop thinking about you. So I got drunk.
You make a very lovely drunk.
Do it, Race. Then I dare you to do something. I dare you to put your arms around me and say that.
You think I'm not tempted?
Go on, Race. Put your arms around me and say I make a very lovely drunk.
I'll make you another drink instead. Sit down, Ducky. You're a little unstrung. As a matter of fact, I'm getting a little unstrung myself.
You're a fool, Race.
I know it. At this moment, I'm probably the biggest fool in Cherbourg. In fact, I'm surprising the very devil out of myself. I'm keeping this light, Ducky, just enough glory juice to give a taste.
You think Menifee's worth being loyal to? Well, he isn't. He isn't worth it at all.
Here, refresh yourself. Then you'd better go home.
Do you know why Menifee suspended salvage operations? Do you know why he's not letting anybody get aboard that boat?
I haven't the slightest idea, Ducky.
Because they have gold aboard. A fortune in gold.
Gold? That sounds a little fantastic, Sandra.
It's not so fantastic. They found a plane on the harbor bottom while they were grappling. A Royal Air Force plane that had been shot down during the war. It had been carrying gold to occupy France, to pay agents who wouldn't work for paper money.
Yes. Yes, they did that during the war.
Well, that's why the child's dead. He happened to be aboard that day and someone shot him to keep him quiet. And that's why that diver turned up missing. Judd Honor.
Doesn't add up, Sandra. If it did, why didn't Menifee just take the gold and clear out?
Because he can't find it. That's the joker. It's somewhere on the boat, but he can't find it. Either the boy or that diver hid it before they were murdered. So he's looked everywhere for that money. But he's been looking for the chest it was found in. The fool. Well, if I could get aboard...
Just how drunk are you, Sandra?
Oh, I'm pretty drunk, Grace. But I'm not too drunk. I'm not too drunk.
If you could get aboard, do you think you know where it is?
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't.
Let's go out to that vessel, Sandra. Let's go out. Just for the ducks of it. Can you see well enough to hold your course, Mark?
You kidding? I ain't seeing my way. I'm feeling it. Oh, what a night.
There she is. Cut the engine.
We're gonna bump.
Oh, brother, what a break. We hit almost alongside the ladder.
Get the bow around, Mark.
All right.
All right, Sandra.
Watch your step, will you? Take the stairway to Buckingham Palace.
Gosh, we made it.
There's a light aft. Come on.
You know, we could be walking right into something here. Something rough and tough.
You can stop right now, pal. You've already walked into it.
It was Freddie Troy, the killer I'd met in London. From the light shafting past an open bulkhead, I could see that under one arm he cradled a bag of some sort, while at the same time he held a gun on us.
Well, well. If it ain't the chum I met in England. You go around buttoning into all kinds of things, don't you?
You don't seem as well equipped as you were last time, Troy. Then it was a Tommy gun, now it's just a .45.
That's enough for this job. Get back against the wall.
Racy's gonna shoot us.
How'd you guess it, sister? That's far enough, punk.
You mean me?
Yeah, you. Now, folks, I'm sorry, but...
Mark, how'd you get that hand in your pocket?
I wasn't reaching for cigars, Junior.
You had to do it. It was him or us.
Oh, lady, you can put music to them lyrics.
Ooh, look, that bag. He dropped it and It's spilling gold coins.
We'll have a look at that later. First, let's see if we can do anything for Troy.
Okay, Race, but I'm afraid we're just wasting our time.
Mark was right. It was a case of too much sea and too much darkness. So we turned back to the lighted cabin. And here...
It's the watchman. He's dead.
Shot by Troy.
Now I guess I won't have to feel so bad.
Race, look. Look where the coins have been hidden.
What do you know? In a fire hose.
But this is only part of it, a small part. Oh, we're too late. They've been carrying it away.
Yes, they've been carrying it away. But I've got a small hunch that I know where we might find it. They were both at the flat, and I got the feeling that he'd been talking to her again about going away. From the look of her, she hadn't been too responsive to his words.
Hello, Race. What is it you want this time?
Money, Annette. A lot of money. Money that caused the death of your child.
Money that killed my boy? Yeah, but who would have it here?
Benson would. Wouldn't you, Benson?
Me? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about a paving contractor calling himself Benson, who's really a deep-sea diver by the name of Joe Donner. How long have you known this man, Annette?
Only a few days. Since Jacques...
Yes. He came to you so he could keep in touch with what was going on. It makes a grim thought, Benson, courting the kid's mother after what happened.
You're crazy.
You tripped yourself in a couple of ways. For one thing, no real paving man would say cement when he actually meant concrete. But you were authentic enough when you mentioned a bullseye today, because that's the term a lot of divers use for the eyepieces in their helmets. You and Freddie Troy were in this together, weren't you, Donner? You were the diver who brought up the chest of coins, which you knew would be confiscated by the government. So you took advantage of the excitement and hid the stuff, and you murdered that boy because he happened to see you. Then you made it look as though you'd been killed yourself, so you could hide out and pick up the coins later.
Race, if you could prove this...
Ask him to open that bag he has at his feet, Annette.
I'm not opening anything. I'm just going out of here. Don't go for that gun, Annette. I know you got one, but don't go for it. I'll...
Race, you stopped me. You let him get away.
He won't go far. Not in France.
And the bag's still here, baby. You didn't get the bag.
I could have killed him, and you stopped me.
And right now, you hate me for it. But after a while, you'll be glad I did. After a long while, you'll be very glad.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Paul Dubove with Tony Barrett as Mark Donovan, comes to you from Hollywood. Others heard in tonight's cast were Lillian Baeff, Wilms Herbert, Paul McVeigh, Michael Ann Barrett, and Herbert Butterfield. This series is written and directed by Buckley Angel and Joel Murcott. The music is composed and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure to be with us again this time next week for another dramatic chapter in the Adventures of Frank Race. Art Gilmore speaking. This is a Bruce Elves production.